going to ask you all to bear with me. I'm not a usual public speaker, although my members might contest that. I want to thank everyone for coming today and for allowing me to represent the Blue Knights in New York City at this ceremony. Thanks to Gene and the Salt of the Earth Foundation for creating this memorial. I am the current president of an international law enforcement club chapter here in Manatee and Sarasota counties. We're Florida 18. We helped to support the finances on this, and we've escorted some I-beams down to this area. We are the largest law enforcement club in the world with 20,000 members in 26 countries. We are the only club that is 90% all law enforcement officers with sworn powers of arrest. We also cover all aspects of law enforcement from federal to local. I spent a couple of years in many lunches in the basement of the World Trade Center or out in the rotunda. I can't tell you how many times I was there in the shadows in the park, how many friends and family who worked in the 7 buildings of the Trade Center, or the buildings across the street on all 4 sides that were damaged and destroyed that day. From day 3 after 9/11, the New York City Correction Department secured the medical examiner's office, the property around it. All members went there on their own time. This was not official duty. We escorted the ambulances in, we stood honor guard, we assisted with securing the area, assisted the detectives and the medical staff as directed, documenting chain of custody of everything that arrived on that recovery site, from the recovery site. Over 10,000 unidentified bone and tissue fragments were recovered. They are stored outside the medical examiner's office in what is now called Memorial Park. As of August 2011, 1,845 remains have been recovered. 1,631 victims have been identified, while 1,122 remain unidentified. The remains are expected to be removed to a repository behind a wall in the museum this year. It was time to rebuild. I was a security supervisor on the reconstruction side of the World Trade Center. I worked from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday after my Monday to Friday, 7 to 3 at the Correction Department. Excuse me. I supervised 6 security officers at the top of the ramp, the 2 path tunnels, the lower level of the 7 stories down, which the workers referred to as the hole. The private family viewing areas and public viewing area on the south side of the site was also my area. During the 13 months I worked there, thousands of people passed that viewing area while I worked. People would come up and ask and talk, ask about New York. They were from all over the world. It is one young lady that I felt true sorrow for. Excuse me. From the impact it had on her. It was almost 3 a.m. Saturday night. The officer at the viewing area gate called me that a woman wanted to speak to me. I walked over. She explained to me that she had moved to New York after college, met her fiance, working in the financial district. He was in the tower and was lost that day. She had a 7 a.m. flight out. She had tried to resume normalcy in her life in New York, but to no avail. She was miserable, was leaving to return to her hometown. She wanted to say goodbye to her loved one last time before going to the airport. After letting her in the viewing area, she said her goodbyes, thanked me, and moved on with her life. Until 2011, I had only lost my father. All my grandparents had passed before I was old enough to know true loss. The tragic loss of a loved one is the hardest. Since moving to Florida, I have lost my son, my brother, and my mother. Let us all remember on Patriots Day, the 2,977 lost on 9/11. Let us not forget to protect our freedoms and rights here and abroad. Just to touch on what Tom said, I never heard Tom speak before, or his venue, or his stance. I worked in jail. The largest group that was growing in the 80s and 90s was the Muslims. You wouldn't believe how they attack the poverty-stricken people in this country and recruit them. Their jihad is against our Constitution. Their state is opposite of ours. Their religion is their state. Our state and our religion is separate. That's one of the reasons they want us to convert. They want the whole world to convert, and they will not stop. They won't. It's been going on since the Crusades. So it doesn't matter what your religion is. If you're not Muslim, you're not one of them. And the young people here, you'll see it, and we'll be gone, and your children will be seeing it. So think about it. Thank you.